It was ranked 15 um, in the nation for undergraduate.
So that's really cool. So whenever you were looking for colleges and stuff, was it really important for you to find a school where you could do a lot of that hands-on stuff, or what was the kind of the decision factor from you going to the University of Miami, the one in Ohio, not the one in Florida that, but the one in Miami that Ben Roethlisberger went to?
Right. So the one in Miami is actually older than the city of Miami, or at least the official city, because it was established when 1809, and the city of
Yeah.
Miami wasn't established until like 1850. Um, but yeah, no, they have a big axe to grind. So it's in Ohio.
Yeah.
Um, so so my dad was very passionate about making sure that we could drive safely.
Mhm.
And I know this sounds a little roundabout, but so he had a rule. We had to drive with him 3,000 miles in the car before we could drive by ourselves. And what's
Yeah.
the best way to rack up those miles is to do like some road trips to look at colleges.
Yeah.
So Miami was close enough. I got in an early acceptance. It was ranked 15 um, in the nation for undergraduate, um, and for undergraduate program, and it had business as well. And I really wanted to double major in engineering and business. Miami had a program where you could actually go get a mechanical engineering degree and add like a couple more classes and get engineering management, and then a couple more classes and get engineering manufacturing, and that had no appeal to me whatsoever because I was like, no, like engineers teaching other engineers how to like read people, that seems like a horrible idea. Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, no, I want to take the marketing classes, I want to take the management classes.
Yeah.
They try to, the accounting teacher really didn't like me because the second accounting two, or finance, she was like, there's these tables that you have to look at to to do all these complex compounding things. I was like, actually, there's an equation for that. She's like, no, there isn't. I was like, yes, there is. It was in my engineering economics class, and you'll bring
Yeah.
the book in. And I
Yeah.
did.
With
And
all the
she's
charts and
like,
everything.
yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, like this is the equation for this thing right here. Because she's like, you can only use it at the chart or use a computer, a calculator to calculate this. Like, nope, there's an equation for it. She's like, leave it to an engineer to like pull out the equation. I'm like, yeah, like why?
Yeah.
How do you think they got the table? They just magically made it. Um,
No, it
so
came
no,
from
so I really,
somewhere.
it came from somewhere, and I really wanted to double major in business because I knew myself, and I knew that if I was just engineering all the
Hmm.
time, I would go crazy. Like I
Hmm.
needed to kind of like take these, even when I was in high school, I took like electives at like creative writing classes and such, just to kind of balance myself out. And I thought about going to Rose-Hulman in Indiana, which had the top master undergraduate program in the nation, I think, at the time. And this guy, the principal was just, I asked like, hey, like, could I, double major here, or like get this here, and like one of the local universities pair with it to get business because I really want to do this thing. And he said, why would you do that? You should just get a master's. I ended up getting my master's, but
Mm.
that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But I was listening in on his. It was a very small school. Like only 10% were like women, and which is fine. But it's just like a lot of guys, and it's
Yeah.
very small, like idea. And he was talking to this girl, and she's like, "Are you still dating that guy from Purdue?" She's like, "Yeah, but he's not an engineer." She's like, "Oh, you're not dating an engineer?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm like, this is too small. I don't know. I can only handle so much engineering. My wife is a social worker. Like, I have a lot of like squishy
Yeah.
scientists around me because there's only so
Yeah.
much that because like you get in an argument and it never ends. Like
Yeah.
you could go down these rabbit holes. Um, so like I went to Miami. I really liked the campus. The program was really, you suited me. They had just started really building up their mechanical engineering and other programs because they were really big in paper engineering. Um,
Paper?
and yeah, paper engineering. They
Cool.
paper bills and such. That they were that was a really big claim to fame. And then about the year I started, or the year right before I started, they really started to ramp up offering more classes and more semesters, and kind of diversifying what they offered, what degrees they offered.
Thank you so much for watching this segment of the Engineering Success Podcast. If you liked it, make sure to check out the other videos down below that are recommended to you. And if you really like the podcast, make sure to subscribe right down there in the middle. We really appreciate it. It's free to you and helps us a lot out. And last but not least, the best way to help the show grow is to comment down below. So leave your comment if you have any thoughts about this segment. Thanks.
Chasing payments, still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.